Hello. Hello, everybody. All you kiddos out there. We can't have Sunday school right now because of all these things. Mommy and Daddy will have to tell you about it. But since we can't have Sunday school, we're going to do a story in my house. How about that? We're going to talk about Daniel. Do you remember Daniel? Can y'all remember who Daniel is? Well, hopefully you'll remember once I start talking to you about the story. Okay, so I'm going to make do the best I can, okay? I don't have all the special props for videos, but I'll do what I can. Now, can y'all see this? I'm going to see if it'll get close enough. You see my little man here? Well, we're going to pretend that he's Daniel today, okay? So this is Daniel, and hopefully y'all can see this pretty good. I'm going to move it a little bit closer, so hang on just a minute. See if it'll help a little bit if I move it closer, okay? So I'm going to try to show all this right here. All right, and you don't have to see me. We're just going to look at these little people. Okay, so here's Daniel, and this is the king. See my king? He's going to be King Darius. King Darius. So he's over here. Now, Daniel was one of King Darius's princes, or a president. That means he was very important. So he loved the king, and the king was friends with him. But Daniel was a good man, and he prayed to God every day. And actually, he prayed to God 3 times a day. He prayed every morning and every noon and every night. That was when he got up and he ate breakfast, he prayed. When he stopped work and he ate his lunch, he prayed. Whenever he got ready to go to bed, he prayed. He might have even prayed more than that, but at least 3 times a day. So Daniel prayed a lot. So he was a good man, and he knew how to be. He didn't cheat. He didn't lie. He didn't steal. He just didn't do anything wrong. He was a good man because God helped him to be good. And you know that if you do bad things, if you talk to God about it, He will forgive you and He will help you to be good. So that's what Daniel did. Now, Daniel was a president, but the king had lots of other presidents. So I don't know if you'll be able to see all these. I'm going to put some more people over here, okay? So here's all my 7 dwarfs that are going to be princes. So these are my people. And all of these were presidents. They called them presidents, but they were kind of like captains or like governors or something like that. They were just leaders of his country, the king's country. So the king would talk to all these men, and all of these men made laws, kind of like what our congressmen do. So they made laws, and they helped run the country, and they put bad people in jail, and whatever else needed to be done. They would do it. But these men over here, they did not like Daniel. Because for one thing, Daniel was a Jew, meaning he came from Israel. He came from the land of Israel. And he was taken captive as a little young man. I don't know how old he was. He was a young man. He was taken captive and carried away to this man's land, this king's land. So we're going to say the land of Babylon. Can y'all say that? So Daniel was carried away. So he wasn't like all these other men. They were Chaldeans. They were Babylon people. And so they were like, now this king is black, but we're just going to pretend that he's like all the others. So, so these men were all presidents, and they hated Daniel. Sorry, I'm getting my names mixed up. They hated Daniel, and so they would watch Daniel and try to find him do something wrong. But he never did do anything wrong. So they went back to their hideout. We're going to say they all went, I'm going to take them out. And they started talking among themselves. I wonder if I could move that over there. So they all got together and they talked among themselves saying, what can we do to Daniel? We want to get rid of Daniel. How are we going to get rid of him? He never does anything wrong. So they thought and they thought, and they said, well, he prays all the time. So maybe we can make it wrong to pray. So they came up with an idea. They said, let's see if we can get the king to agree to our plan. So they all, now Daniel, he was sent off to work somewhere. He was off working somewhere, okay? So they came to the king, all these other men. They came back to the king and they said, oh, king, we want to make a new law and we think you will like this law. So the king says, well, what is it? What kind of law is it? And they all said, we just think you're just the most wonderful king ever. You're just so great, so strong. You're so smart. We think you are a god. So we want to make everybody pray to you. And the king said, well, that does sound like a good idea. I am awful smart. And I am strong. So yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So all these men, they ran off again and they started telling all around the city. Let me get them all going out of the city. They start going around to all the towns of the city. And they said, the king has made a new law. No one can pray to any other god except him. You have to pray to King Darius. And all the people was kind of confused. They didn't know what to think. But they said, well, okay, we better obey the law. That's for sure. So they went about telling everybody. And sure enough, here's Daniel. Daniel heard about the new law. What do you think Daniel did? Do you think he stopped praying? He didn't stop praying. He still loved God, and he still prayed every morning and every noon and every night. He prayed to God, and he probably said, oh God, you see this new law. I can't quit praying to you because you're the true God, and I love you, and I want to serve you. And I know you will help me somehow. You will help me. And that's how we can pray. We can pray that way when we're in trouble, when things aren't going good, when there's sickness or when there's just trouble. Maybe our friends give us trouble. We can go to God and we can just say, Lord, please help me. And he will. So Daniel was off in his house. And after just a few days, it didn't take very long, but a few days later, all these men, I got to make them come back again. All these men came back to the king and they said, oh look, he's sleepy. This must be sleepy. All these men came back and they said, oh king, we saw somebody that was not praying to you. He was praying to somebody else. And the king said, oh no, who was praying to somebody besides me? Who was they praying to? Who was not praying to me? You just tell me who it is and I will throw him in the lion's den. And these men, they all said, well, his name is Daniel. His name is Daniel. And the king said, Daniel? Daniel? Daniel is my friend. I don't want to hurt Daniel. Oh my, why didn't I think of Daniel? Of course Daniel's not going to pray to any other god. Daniel's faithful to his God. Oh, what am I going to do? Well, I don't want to put Daniel in the lion's den, so we're just not going to do it. And they said, now listen here, King. Look at this one frowning. Listen here, King. You signed that law, and you said whoever prays to any other god, it has to be thrown into the lion's den. So we have to throw him in the lion's den. And the king said, well, okay, I guess I can't do anything about it. And he was very sad. The King Darius was very sad. And he went to his house, and he shut the door in his bedroom, and he cried, and he was very sad all night, and he didn't sleep. He was so sad about Daniel. So all these men, they got Daniel. Here's Daniel. They grabbed Daniel, and they took him to the lion's den. Now I'm going to move them out of the way again. And we got to find our lions, okay? We got to find our lions. So the king's in his room. Remember, he's in his room. Here's Daniel, and the soldiers got him. Now, does this look like a lion? He looks kind of like a lion, don't he? See? So he's in the lion's den. What about this one? There's a little one. He's fuzzy. See, he's a lion, so he's going to go in the lion's den. Now look at this. This is a baby lion. So we have a baby lion. He's in the lion's den. Now, can y'all see him okay? Now, what about this? You see this? Does he look like a lion? Well, sorta. But this is a tiger. But I don't have enough lions, so I'm going to pretend that this one's a lion, okay? Or maybe they had tigers in there. I don't know. So he looks mean, doesn't he? Ooh, look at him growling. Wow. So there's another lion. Look at this one. Does this look like a lion? This is my Duplo. He's a tiger too. But we're going to pretend he's a lion, okay? So here's another lion. Wow, wow, wow. So there's another lion. What about this mean big old thing? Does he look like a lion? Wow. No, he's not a lion. So we're not going to use him. He's not a lion. Okay. So they took Daniel, good old Daniel, and they threw him in here with the lions. Can you see him? He fell down in there. Now, in this picture, he's smiling. But he probably wasn't smiling when he got thrown in there. He was probably scared. Wouldn't y'all be scared if y'all got thrown in the lion's den? So here's Daniel and all those lions around him. Look at those mean old lions. And they growled. Can y'all growl like a lion? I'm not real good at growling. But they growled and they snorted and they sniffed him and they huffed and they puffed. And they got close to Daniel. They looked at him and they sniffed him. How would you feel if you was Daniel? Well, if I were Daniel, I would be scared. Because we know that lions will eat you up. They're mean and they have long claws and sharp teeth. So Daniel was kind of scared probably. But you know what he did? He prayed. He just said, "Oh God, you know where I am. You know what's happening to me. And you know I did not do anything wrong. I have been good. I've been reading my Bible. I've been praying. And those people just hate me. So will you please help me? Please help me and keep me safe." And so, oh, I forgot my angel. Y'all let me run and get my angel. I tried to have everything ready, but I forgot my angel. Okay, can y'all see the angel? Look at this pretty angel. See? Well, most of the times we see angels with wings. So this one has wings. Here's an angel. Now, when Daniel was praying, God was listening. And so God told this angel to come down out of the sky. And he came right down in this den of lions. And he touched all these lions' mouths. And you know what they did? Let's see, can you still see my angel right there? All those lions' mouths were shut now. And they couldn't bite Daniel. They couldn't growl anymore. And so they didn't hurt Daniel. All night long, Daniel was in that lion's den in the dark. See, you see a little light, but it was dark down in there. And Daniel just kept praying. He just kept praying to God and being hopeful. And he might have even prayed for those bad men, just saying, Lord, would you forgive them? Because they just don't understand about you. So God, he probably kept talking to God all night long. And the lions did not hurt him. So early the next morning, here's the king. Early morning, because remember, he didn't sleep. He didn't sleep all night. He was so sad about Daniel. So early the next morning, he gets up and he runs down there to the den. Now remember, it's like a den. These lions are down in a cave. So he runs to the den and he says, Daniel, are you okay? Are you okay? Did your God keep you safe? And he listened. He listened to see if he could hear anything. And pretty soon he heard a voice that said, Oh king, I am just fine. God sent his angel and kept me safe all night long. Because God knew I was good and I hadn't hurt you and I hadn't hurt anybody. So God sent his angel to keep me safe. And then the king said, Hey, get Daniel up out of that lion's den. Get Daniel out of that lion's den. So we don't have any good people, I guess. I'll get somebody else here. I'll get my Charlie Brown. So their people, his soldiers, came and got Daniel out of the lion's den. So here Daniel is. And the king said, Oh, Daniel, I am so glad your God kept you safe. Now I know that your God is good. He is so powerful and mighty. And now I want to make sure everybody in our land can pray to your God and that nobody will say anything against him anymore. And so that's the story of Daniel. Do y'all remember now hearing that story before? So Daniel was a good man and he just kept being president. And those bad men did not bother him anymore. Never, never again. And I want y'all to remember, I'm going to scoot this back out a little now. I want y'all to remember that God is with you. And no matter what you're going through, if you're scared or if you're in trouble, you can pray to God just like Daniel did. And he will help you. If you're scared of the storms, if you're scared of the dark, if you're scared of a big mean dog, anything. When you're afraid, you pray to God and he will help you. He will listen to you. God listens to little children. He listens to their prayers. Now I want you to practice a memory verse that I picked out for you today. God is a very present help in trouble. That's Psalms 46:1. God is a very present help in trouble. Now y'all try to say it, okay? God is a very present help in trouble. Psalms 46:1. And I'm going to turn this off now, and you can listen to this anytime your mommy wants to let you, okay? And hopefully I'll see you in a few days. Bye-bye.